Hello people, been a bit of a while. Well, sorry for that, but I can't imagine anyone's waiting for my video somewhere. This fella, I'm not going to pick on him too badly, just because I've read in Luke 9:50, it says very clearly, "Forbid him not, for he that is not against us is for us." And in some respects, this pastor, i.e. Paul Begley, does a fair bit of advertising for Jesus, so he's getting his name out there. But let me just give you a few items that niggle me about what he's preaching. It's just fear-mongering and it's not biblical. So he's always talking about shock waves, energy waves, meteorites, megaquakes, asteroids, deep space, Nibiru. I mean, that's just a few. He's just constantly fear-mongering and talking about space, which, Mr. Paul Begley, doesn't exist. It's not in the Bible. It's just talking rubbish. Now, why is he talking such rubbish? I don't know what is causing it. I have no idea. But I'm going to throw my penny's worth in and can only think it's greed. He does have a really large following, and he obviously makes quite a bit of money out of it because he's managed to employ his whole family and he's constantly going to Israel, etc., etc., etc. So I'm thinking the reason he's ignoring the Bible, what the Bible says completely, is out of greed. Either that or he's drinking so much coffee he just can't slow himself down and read it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's in plain English. You don't have to be a genius. I'm going to give you one example of a scripture that just, again, proves that the earth is flat, really, because if you believe NASA, we're going round the sun at 30 kilometres per second, which is 67,000 miles an hour. Now, when you read this scripture in Psalms 46:10, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." So, how on earth is God telling us, which is something that's impossible to do? How can we be still if we are travelling at 67,000 miles an hour? I mean, that's just beyond ridiculous. So, again, Paul Begley is either calling God a liar or, he's drunk that much coffee that he's actually doing 67,000 miles on his own and he's staying still because he's moving with the earth. I mean, I don't know what's going on in his head, but he's got to stop talking rubbish. Now, the science bit, I take absolutely zero credit for this whatsoever. But it's emphatic. If anyone can pull me up on it or him up on it, it's a fella called Unveiled Truth. Really appreciate what he's done. Hope he doesn't mind me nicking it, but it's brilliant. In my mind, there's absolutely zero debunking of it. So please listen to Unveiled Truth's video about the Nile.
I wanted to put together just a short video to tell you the main reason why I believe the earth is flat, and it is flat. There are literally, I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of reasons why I believe that the earth is flat, that it's not a globe. But the number one for me is water. Water is always flat. Water always finds its level. All the oceans and the streams and the creeks run down into the basins, which is what we call oceans. Water always takes the shape of its container. So water is really what does it for me. Now, this is according to NASA. So this is NASA's official website talking about the earth. You'll see down here it says that the diameter of the earth at the equator is 12,756 kilometers. So if we convert kilometers to miles, that's 7,926 miles. Now, here is a scale model of the earth. According to NASA, as you just saw, the diameter of the earth is 7,926 miles. So at the equator from one side to the other, 7,926 miles. Now, according to the History Channel, the longest river in the world is the Nile River, which is actually almost 5,000 miles in total length. But as the crow flies, you can see it here, that the total length is about 2,400 miles from the source to the outlet. As we just saw, the length of the Nile River, and this is as the crow flies, from the source point to the ocean that it empties out into, is 2,400 miles, about 30% of the Earth's diameter. So if we take NASA's word for it that it's 8 inches per mile squared, this is what the math looks like. 2,400 miles times 2,400 miles times 8 inches. That gets us the total amount in inches. We divide by 12 to get the total amount in feet. Then we divide by 5,280 to get the total amount in miles. And there should be 727 miles of total curvature. We divide that by 2, and that means there would be 363 miles to the midpoint or the peak. The Nile River would have to ascend 363 miles, or a total of over 720 miles from the beginning to the end. It would look like this. If you see this here, this would be the source point. It would have to curve up 363 miles to the midpoint, and then it would have to curve down 363 miles to the end point. That's impossible. Totally impossible. Just to put that in perspective, that would be the equivalent of 1,950 Eiffel Towers. You know what? I don't even have, these are all representing the Eiffel Tower. I don't even have enough on the screen. I think I'm short a few. I got tired of cutting and pasting. So it's very interesting, but water is always flat. Water always finds its level. And gravity is still a theory. The full name for gravity is the universal theory of gravity. It's an invisible, supernatural, all-powerful force that does not care if we're moral. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, I think we've been lied to. The earth is flat, water is flat, and it would be impossible to live on a spinning globe.
So there you have it. Big shout out to Unveiled Truth. Thanks for that. Fantastic job. Definitely couldn't have said it better myself. And Paul Begley, please give up the money. Seriously, read Genesis. Go, stop drinking coffee. Do something, but sort your head out and make sure that you know what you're talking about, and you stop lying to people, and you stop fear-mongering people and profiteering out of them for immoral reasons. The earth is flat and your space is rubbish. Thanks, people. Hopefully see you again soon with another pasta.